Hello, 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 hello. Okay, I'm not gonna look because if I look at the phone, I'm gonna want to click on a video instead of waiting for my own live to pop up. All right, let's go find it. Let's go find the live. There it is. Okay, no more YouTube videos. Hello, hello, hello. I'm here. I'm here. I'm here. Hi, Tarot Gothis. Hi, Judy. Thanks for being here. Welcome in. Oh, man. Well, I was going to say that I got distracted and that's what took me longer to get here. But that's every day. That's nothing different. That's nothing new. Yes, yes, I did say no more YouTube videos because I just kept clicking. I just kept clicking them. Yes, I did. I said I need to wait for my own live to come up instead of clicking another YouTube video. Hi, Annie. Thanks for being here. Yes, happy November, everybody. We made it. But I gotta say, like, October was better. I was gonna say something different, but it definitely wasn't calm. But it was calmer. It was better than September. September was a rough one, but we made it through that, and we made it through October. And here we are, getting going with November. Yes, with all of this one energy. Well, and really, November is coming up very much around the two. There seems to be a very strong message around not focusing on the 11, but allowing and recognizing that the 11 needs to move to a 2. Mm, wow. This makes it a very important date, Annie. Very important date. Yes. Especially because it's one, and we have that too right in there. So, very important. So, make sure if there's questions that come up today, you let me know. Hey, Tiptoe Joe, thanks for being here. I got some numbers for you that I need to send you, but you let me know if you want me to send it to your DM or talk about it here. Thank you for being here. Okay, so let me know what hip hop topics do we want to talk about. Yeah, we could talk about today's date. So while you're putting topics in there, let's look at today's date. So we have today is November 1st, 2025. And what we have here is a series of this one energy. So we just came out of October where we had a ton of one energy coming in and being enhanced by God energy. Okay, I got you. So we had a ton of this energy, this one energy coming in. And so here today on the 1st, now it's beginning with this one energy as well. And so um, it's very much rolling into this space. I do have an Instagram, but I haven't posted anything on there. You're like the third person that has told me I need to start using Instagram. So we are going to start using Instagram. You'll be able to find me very soon. Cuz yeah, that keeps coming up. So we have all of this one energy, but the other thing that we have going on today is where October was a lot of one energy, but it was coming from a 19, where it was grabbing that 9 energy from September, where the energy was coming through September and it was like getting cleaned up and filtered out, and then being used in a new and different way. Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, it is. I don't know why it's on that QR code, but I will be using Instagram. Like, I do have one. I just need to start posting on it. So, even if that wasn't your intention, that was definitely the universe's intention. So, I am taking that message. So, we have um, this 19 that's kind of embedded within the date for today as we get started. It should be the same. It should just be vibrant numerals or vibrant numerals 33. And that new QR code that I got up there, that little smancy dancy thing, it'll list all of the places I am, like all of the social media. It lists like the merch site. Oh, which I gotta show you, because I made an update on it. So we'll talk about that too. So, um, the energy for today is 21. And so then this makes sense because what we have is this one energy that is coming in from October's one, and it's now enhancing and getting us started in November's two energy, where this is a little bit different than what we've been seeing and experiencing, because we've been seeing that um, each month is the actual number that it is. And usually we get really excited when November would be an 11. But it's actually coming through as a 2. And it seems like it's a bigger message that we have to be paying attention to. That we need to be making this shift from 11 to 2. We need to incorporate, so we need to integrate all of the energy that has been coming in all year. Because we have this month, November, and we have December to prepare for 2026. So, how October felt, where the energy wasn't as chaotic, and if you got into a good vibrational flow. So, I saw a couple of posts from Quality Reacts and the Koalaholics that were saying that like October was really, really good for them. And I've heard other reactors say the same thing, and other creators say the same thing, that October was pretty good. And it's because they were able to find this vibrational flow and be able to ride that flow. That's what we want for 2026. So we need to be integrating this energy this month and next month to really understand what it feels like, so that we can get in the vibrational flow to make some really big things happen. But that's really what 11 to 2 is. It's like this integration point. It's being able to get to the integration of the energy that's coming in. And especially on a date like today, where we have all of this one energy, all of this new energy is coming in. In most years, it feels like the 1st of November is again where there's a big wave of new energy that's coming in. But today feels different. It feels more like the energy's already here. And I think it's because we had some very big energetic days in the last few months and really all of the year up to now. And so it really is like the energy is here. How are we working with it? I've also heard from several people that there's other new energy here, like new friends from other places far, far away. But we could talk about that at another time. Let's look real quick. Yes, so Scorpio season is when we are encountering the mysterious and the things that dwell in the deep. So the deepest of emotions, the deepest of mysteries, the deepest of ideas and feelings. So I want to do real quick for you to see how this day is resonating for hip hop, since it's our hip hop day. So what you do, and you could do this for yourself too. So what you do is take the month and day you were born. And so for hip hop, that would be August 11th. Hi, Tasha. Thanks for coming in. Welcome. And so what you do is you do your birth month plus your birthday, not your whole birthday, but just the day you were born, plus the vibration of the day. Vibe of day. And then this is how you can get what the vibration is for you specifically. And you do the same thing if you want to look at the year. So when we get to December and we start really planning for 2026, we'll start looking at what are our individual vibrations for the year and for the month. And then this is how you get it for the day. And so for hip hop today, we have 8 plus 11 plus 21. So the vibration for hip hop specifically today is, let's see, add it up, 40. So this is why Tiptoe Joe got the notification. 40 is like the vibration of establishing a foundation. And this foundation, let me move this up a little bit. Move it. And this foundation is supported and enhanced by this God energy. But this is also the life path number for Tupac. What? And it's very interesting that both Tupac and Kendrick Lamar have zeros at the end of one of their major numbers. So for Tupac, it's his life path number, and for Kendrick Lamar, it's his name. So, very interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so I got 2 things that I got to make sure to do, and then you can put whatever you want in the chat. Oh yeah, welcome in, Tasha. No, we don't have like a whole bunch of plans here. We go off of whatever we need to talk about. We do have Saturdays for hip hop specifically because there usually is a lot to talk about in the hip hop space. But we can also always look at anybody's date, your birth date. No, no, you're not at all. Not at all. Okay, so I told you all about so yesterday I told you all about, oh my gosh, let's see if I can do good again. This new QR code. Let's see if I did it. Did that do it? I gotta watch now. Nope. A little bit off. A little bit off. There we go. But this new QR code has a new space to be able to get in contact with me, to be able to donate to the channel and all the things that we want to do here. But also, it has the new merch that I just put out. And I just updated it this morning. So I met with my therapist, who's amazing and wonderful and has helped me so much. You all should get one. Everybody should have one. And I was very excited to share with her about not only like the new merch, but also just how incredibly grateful and appreciative I feel to be in this group. Like, I have these communities that have come together for me and YouTube, and you all have just like whew, brought me to tears over and over again. Oh, you go have to wait, Judy. And so the thing that I added was, in discussion with my therapist, she said, this is amazing, but where are you? And at first I didn't know what she meant, and she was like, "Where are you? You need to be part of this." And we need to know about you. And so that's what I've added. So this is so exciting. So exciting. So here, let me see. There we go. So here is the new merch site. And right here at the top, as soon as I get my own merch shirt, we will update this image. But right here at the top, I've put in a little bit about myself, what to meet the creator. And I'll let you read that on your own, because if I read it right now, then it's definitely going to be tears, and we're not going to get to what we need to get to. But what was so extra amazing for me is that this was really the first time that I was able to talk about myself and something that I was doing and feel very comfortable in it. And this is what I'm most proud of, is that I feel this feels very freeing, and I'm sharing it out of appreciation for you all, because you've helped me to get there, but also because I want it for you. And so I've also added this call to action, because I want you and everybody to know that everything that I'm doing, it's much bigger than just me and then just us. That we all are an important piece of this big, huge vibrational tapestry. And we have a huge job to do. And so I want to make sure that you know that you are an important piece of this also. For my journey, for your journey, and for just all of us, and for the earth. And so then here are I actually have a lot of different things here. So I've developed this sacred geometry and numerology design that draws in the energy of creativity. I am working on a full video to be able to explain this design. But this design is made for us to be able to actually use it. And so it comes in a lot of different ways where you can have the shirt, you can get it in a card. I have mouse pads, there's buttons, there's journals, there's lots of different things. Lots of different things. And so this is the new merch site. Creativity is the first design. There'll be more that come. I don't know when, because that's not up to me. It's up to the universe. But I certainly am very, very proud of this, and am really excited to share. Okay. I'll click here. Let me click on one. There you go. Is that better? Oh, that's awesome, Judy. Thank you. Yep, I got stickers in there too. I've also got like pins and lots of different options so that somebody can get something. We want everybody to get something. Oh, you're getting an error on what, Tiptoe Joe? Is it the website, or is it the QR code? Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Judy. Yeah, because we want to make sure everything is working. Oh, the QR code. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Judy said she'll help. Thank you. Okay. So, there's that. Very excited for that. Um and kind of needed to get that out of the way so that I don't completely lose it. I probably will later anyway, because I keep opening it and looking at it like, what? I really made this, especially because like I've always been like a math science person, and in school and in people around, um, they didn't necessarily associate being creative in like an arts and writing kind of way to the math and the science. And so I keep looking at it like, oh, this is so mathematical, it's so scientific, and it's so creative. And the universe got jokes because the first vibration they wanted me to use is creativity. So it's great. It's great. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I just am I'm happy that now I have been able to fully embrace that, Annie, that creativity is math and math is creativity, and thinking and the way that I think, which is very mathematical, can be and is very creative also. Woohoo! Okay. I'm not gonna talk about it anymore because I don't want to cry. At least not at the beginning. Can we at least wait till the end so then I can say bye and go away and cry alone? Just kidding. I don't cry alone anymore. I just come to Twitch and cry there with you. Okay, the other thing that freaked me out, but also excited me, was when I went to go check and see what our vibration was for this past week. And so our vibration that we randomly were given was 355. And I know. You look at it and you're like, oh, okay, that's not very exciting, but it is. So first, let's look at the themes that are occurring here. We've got change, got all of this 5 energy from Judy in here. So we've got this change. And the 55 together is karmic. So we were told last week through this vibration that we would expect to see a lot of karmic energy flowing through. And that this theme of things being karmic would lead to some kind of growth. And growth can be like the growth and expansion of the way you think or the way you do things. Or the way that you are just moving in the world. But I always say this, especially about growth, where because people automatically feel, and it's not outside of myself, because I do this also, is that sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm growing, so that's got to be a good thing. Growth is neutral, just like every vibration. So you could be growing in the wrong direction. You could be expanding and getting bigger and having your mind and your actions change, but in a direction that you did not intend for yourself to go. So we have to be very intentional and aware of what direction we are growing in. And then when we add this up, we get to 13, which is that big, huge transformation number. Transformation. Hey, Josh, welcome in. And then that, of course, gets us to 4. The thing that caught me off guard was the way that this can get split up. So this 355, we can get it from doing 200, which we've been seeing, I've been seeing, but I think we all have been seeing a ton of 2 energy, where it's really like getting rid of dualism and expanding outside of a dualistic way of thinking, with the support of God, plus 155 is how we can get to the 355. But this 155, this is the vibration of poetic justice. Poetic justice. And that was like the biggest hip-hop topic this whole week, was this poetic justice theory. But also around justice in that court space and what justice really is and what it looks like. So I just thought that was kind of scary cool. But that's our vibration from last week. And so for anybody that's new, one of the things we do every Saturday is we roll our random wheel and we get a vibration to try and pay attention to throughout the week, so that we can start recognizing when these vibrations are coming into our field and begin to start trying to work with them intentionally. Because we first have to be aware. So we first have to take, and I always do this when I talk about it, because it is kind of like taking it from the back of your brain into the front of your brain. So it's bringing it to your awareness. So then you can be intentional on how to use this energy. And that actually reminds me that so I did a video on poetic justice, and it was all about this 155, But one of the phrases that its numerical vibration equals 155 is lack of awareness. Lack of awareness. And in that video and throughout this week, this is what we are associating, like with Lawbry, and how that lack of awareness got him in trouble and got him looking goofy. But also with this lack of awareness, this is where we cannot be intentional. Because if we're not aware of the vibrations and the things around us that are impacting us and that are impacting our decision making, now we cannot be intentional and we fall victim to this karmic energy. So now the karmic energy just hits us like a big old truck. So that's our vibration for last week. And we could see what comes up for this week. We'll spin the wheel at the end. Yep. All of that. Yep. Lots of 5 energy floating around these days. All right. So what do you all want to talk about today? You and Judy get those 5s all the time. Oh, okay. Oh, did I miss Flex's live? Oh man, that is so cool. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Sounds like a eventful time. I'll have to go and watch the recording. Let's see, Annie, let's first see if we have any hip hop related topics. Because that's what this space and time is for. And if not, we will definitely, I'll take some numbers to be able to break down. Oh, he's still live now? Oh man, I wish I'd known that. But then you guys wouldn't have seen me until like after midnight. Because I already was getting mad distracted watching YouTube videos. What? And I didn't even get a notification for Flex being live. Thanks, Annie. So just remind me at the end. We'll definitely get to your numbers. Yes. Yes. Yes, Judy. Mm-hmm. So it's it's very interesting to think about. So what I am kind of seeing, because we do have this crazy shift that's happening, and it's like, I don't know if it's clear. I think it is very clear in the hip hop space. That's why people keep talking about it. Very much, where it's very clear that there is a shift happening in the hip hop space. But what I think is less clear, maybe not for some of us, is that there's a huge shift period. Like we have big, huge shifts that are happening everywhere and in all areas of life. Yeah, it's happening all over the place. And so how I like to think about it is like, so let's see if I could draw a little stick person. Boop, boop, boop. Only with those sound effects. You can't draw the right stick person without those sound effects. Just saying. So here we are as an individual. And so as an individual, we would be experiencing these shifts in one way, a very individually specific kind of way, which may or may not be clear. Because with shifts, they can, well, like with anything really, any even change can be very subtle. Because the vibrations are neutral, you could be anywhere on that scale. So let me go away from our little self for just a second and just give us a reminder that the vibration is neutral. And so if we have this vibration and we have the two extremes, and really these extremes are infinite. I know, that's like one of those weird things that like hurts my brain every time. It's like, how do you have extremes but they're infinite? It's because regardless of your position on the vibration, there's always extremes from that position. So let me know if you want me to explain that more. It kind of hurts my brain too, but I will talk about it. Come on now, Josh. It's actually going very quickly. That's what I was going to actually talk about, is like how this shift is happening in a very clear and quick way for hip hop, but not so much for anybody else. And that's what we like are seeing, is that we can have like if one person is shifting with this vibration and their starting point is like here, where they're very close to this extreme. Like they're close to this extreme, and it's like any extreme is not a good place to be. It's not a good perspective, because then you're not really seeing okay, Josh, I'm gonna start breaking down your bitching again. So keep it coming. We'll just start breaking it down. So they're very close to this extreme. And so they can make a shift where their second position is right here. And this can seem like a very drastic and dramatic shift because of the positioning, because of being so close to this extreme vibration. But then there can be somebody else who is starting like right here, but this person is closer to that neutral position of the vibration. They have a clearer perspective of both sides and both extremes. And they can have a bigger experience of this person or a smaller experience, moving a less amount. So it's very individual. So if this person here, if our second person here, let's say they're very aware of the shift, that can impact if they're feeling it more or not. Because we could also have, let's put a third person on here, where we have a third person that's like here, and this person just done lost their whole daggone mind, and they shift all the way to this other extreme and not even notice. So it's very individual, and because you're moving along this vibration, you can be very aware of the shift or not, and it can feel very different. Hi, Doc. Thanks for being here. I I hope you have a good nap. I was gonna take a nap and then be able to join the from discussion, and my nap turned into sleep. So I will be going back and watching that discussion later today. I hope it was a good one. I'm sure it was. But have a wonderful nap, and thank you for just dropping in and showing support. I really appreciate it. Okay. So all of that to just say that when there's a shift happening, these shifts tend to move along the same vibration. Now, it doesn't mean that there's not multiple of these happening at the same time, where um, you could have like three vibrations here, and like the starting point be like here, and then it shifts to here along these vibrations. But then these distances in that shift that required are going to be different. So that can change how it feels also. But we won't get that technical yet. We'll just think of one vibration at this point. All right, so I got to get up back up to my little guy. Hey, little guy, how are you? Oh, I like this little guy. Look, he's so cute. So here we are. Here we are, our individual selves experiencing life. And then we have um, like our community or our culture around us. And again, this it's not this linear, it's not this straightforward. But we have to think about it in these most simplistic terms first. And then we could start layering on the details. Hi, lovely. I'm so glad you made it. You're never late. You're always on time. I'm glad you're here. So this will make hip hop pink today. I'm sure all hip hop would love that. It's all good. So we have the individual that is within this hip hop culture. And then hip hop is within, like, we'll go real big because there's lots of layers, but this could just be like earth. We're not even gonna do countries and cities and families. All of that's included in here. We're just gonna look at it as simply as possible. And then this most outer layer will be the galaxy. Well, our galaxy that we reside in, where Earth resides, and hip hop's on Earth, and then there we are as an individual. And so what's happening is we actually end up feeling all of the vibrations from all of these different layers because we're at the center here. But it impacts us differently. So if we're talking about making shifts, each of these levels is going to interact with the vibrations that are telling it to shift in very different ways. So the galaxy could get the message that it needs to shift, and it starts spinning. Boop, boop. And maybe it increases its speed. And that's how it is making sure that it is shifting. It's changing how it's behaving, circling around. This movement now comes and hits Earth, but it's hitting Earth. So if these are the original vibrations of shift. Make sure I write shift and not shit. I always thought that was funny when teachers would accidentally write something wrong and then they'd be devastated. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did that to my students. I always thought that was funny. I never did it on purpose, but I always thought it was funny. So devastated, don't know how to write, and I'm a teacher. More important things. Anyway, so this shift vibration comes in. It tells the galaxy, okay, start spinning this way and moving this way. Then this shift energy comes and it gets into Earth. So now Earth is getting the message that it needs to shift. It's true. Saying shift so much in a discussion, you're gonna slip up and you're gonna accidentally say shit. So why worry about it? Just say, whoops. Whoops. So now the Earth is getting this message that it's time to shift, but it's also getting the vibrations and the message where it's saying the galaxy is shifting this way. So act accordingly. So now Earth is having to use both of these sets of vibrations, both of this sets of information to make its shift. I don't know who gives a shift. Oh, that's funny. Oh, that cracks me up. You all make me laugh. And so then Earth now is having to figure out how it's going to behave. And so Earth maybe says, okay, in order for me to shift, I need to shake up my vibrations. Woo! I guess that's what shaking up your vibrations looks like. I don't know why I drew that, but that's what it is. And so now we have the Earth that is moving and shaking up its vibrations so that it can make its adjustments to not only this message that it's getting shifted, but also from this message that the galaxy is shifting in this way. So now here comes hip hop. So now hip hop is getting this message that it's time to shift. But what's happening in hip hop is it already has its very clear direction. Hip hop already was beginning the shift before it got this shift message. So it gets this shift message. It's getting this shift message from the galaxy, and it's getting this shift message from the Earth, but it's already shifting. It's already shifting. And that's what makes the shifting for hip hop much more clear, because it's not changing anything. Like where the galaxy had to now change how fast it was rotating, or change how it was rotating. And the earth is having to shake up its vibrations. Hip hop doesn't have to change anything because it's already making a shift. We can have this same kind of thing happen. That's why when now this shift message gets to us as an individual, for some of us, we already are in a dramatic shift in our life. So we get this shift vibration and it doesn't feel any different than what we've already been doing. And so we don't necessarily have to change things. This is what we see with some of our hip hop artists, where the shift is happening in hip hop, but it already happened, like it's already been happening. So the hip hop is not changing what it's doing. And so there's some artists who also were already aligned with this shift in hip hop. And so they are just continuing on the same trajectory. But somebody that was not in line with the shift, they get this message from the whatever's out here that it's time to shift. They get the message from the galaxy that it's time to shift. They get the message from the earth that it's time to shift. And they've been getting the message from hip hop that it's time to shift, but they weren't getting in line with shifting with hip hop. And so now this artist or this individual is getting bombarded with this message of shift. And if they do not, it's like, no, you have so many vibrations that this shift is happening. So it's kind of like if you are in a car, say you're sitting in the car and you are just telling everybody, I refuse to go anywhere. I refuse. I'm not going anywhere. And, one of these rational people that are shifting and understand that it's time to shift gets in the driver's seat and starts driving. And you're still sitting in the car saying, I'm not shifting. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not doing it. And they're just like, okay. Okay. Fine. Okay. Like this movement, this shift is happening because it's happening at this galaxy level. It's happening at the earth level. It's happening at the hip hop level. So if you're refusing to be part of the shift, you look crazy. You look crazy because it's just like, okay, all right, you go ahead, throw your tantrum in the back that you aren't going anywhere, that you're not moving while I drive us to our destination. So when this type of thing is happening, that's why certain moments can feel very dramatic, but also can look very dramatic as we're shifting. Yes, exactly, Annie. Yes, exactly. Like if you've already been hearing this call to make this shift and make these changes, now it doesn't feel crazy. That's kind of like what is happening, not just in hip hop, but in the world around us, where some of this is like, oh my gosh. And it's like, it's still hitting you. Like those vibrations are still hitting you. You're still impacted by them. But the reaction to them is different. The way you move with them is different. It's kind of like if you've already been on this river rafting and you have figured out how to maneuver around the rocks, but now you get to the rapids, but you can be more confident in it because you already know how to maneuver around the rocks, even though it's more of them and it's more choppy. Yes, Annie, exactly. That's exactly what it is. But that's what we're seeing in hip hop also, is we're seeing like, that's why it looks so weird, where it's like, what timeline are you on? Like, you're in a weird timeline. You might want to jump over to this timeline because that looks funny because we're all shifting. It's happening. Yes. Yes. Well, and so I like your comment, Judy, because like we have the example of Kendrick in how to be in the vibrational flow with the shift that's happening around, and especially in hip hop, because he's showing us how to do it. But we have to be very careful to not let it all be on his shoulders. And that's kind of what the messaging was that I was getting around, like what I was just talking about, like with my new merch, that it's not just me that's holding and helping the vibration to make the changes. It's all of us. We all have a part. And so just because Kendrick Lamar's part is very open and clear and obvious, we have to make sure we're still doing our part to help in the shift to happen. Because he's gonna be carrying hip hop on his shoulders regardless. Like, that's his role. Yes, exactly. The other way to think about it, as this shift is happening, is oh my gosh, the example that's coming in is like making me laugh already. So, all right, we're gonna get another stick person here. Let's see if I can actually draw this. So, if this person, and we hear this in a lot of other scenarios also, where we hear like we all are the body of God. We all are collective consciousness. We're all part of a bigger whole. And the description that's given a lot of times is that we're all different parts of the body. And so this is hip hop. This is hip hop personified. And so if hip hop personified here, we have some of our artists, woo, that are the brains of the operation. And we have some of our artists that are the action, they're the legs of the operation. Then we have other artists that are the hands. And what I think about, so when I think of our dear, I don't even want to call him a friend, poor little Aubrey, I think what it looks like he is a hand. He's like the sixth digit on the hand. He's like that extra finger that is there and it's a part of you, but you don't know why it's there and you don't know what it's for. That's what he is. But he is saying, I'm not shifting. I'm not shifting. I want things to stay the same way. And we see this other places too. So make sure that you're taking this analogy and you're putting it into other spaces in life, because we're seeing this in a lot of different spaces where this little poor 6 digit is saying, I'm not moving. You can't make me. And the rest of the body is like, okay, you say you're not gonna move, but then the brain is signaling to the legs, so the brain of hip hop is getting the signal that it's time to shift. It's giving that signal to the legs, and the legs are moving forward in this shift. So that's another way of thinking about it. Because even if he was like a whole ass leg, do you think we could move forward with one leg? Yeah, hip hop can still move forward with one leg. It would be more difficult. We definitely would feel that shift more, but it can still happen. This picture is weird and funny, and I like it. Okay. Let me catch up in the chat. Yes. Yes. Well, so Annie, what's so interesting is that if you look in any I always use the Bible because that's the one that people know the most, but it's actually in every single religion, spiritual book where they talk about prophets. You don't often see prophets amongst the people. And it's because they have to go and get a respite. They have to be able to get rest. Because their only purpose is to be able to come in and give the message, deliver the message, and move on. If they didn't. So if that wasn't happening, then that's when they would be exhausted and not be able to do the part. It's kind of like, when you have something that you are doing that doesn't feel like work because you're enjoying it, but you still get tired. It's kind of like that. Yes. Yes, exactly, Josh. You get to chill into enlightenment. But sometimes it's the hardest part. Especially because remember, it was, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. It might have been last week. I don't know. Time is weird. But we were talking about how we have to get out of survival mode. Because when you're in survival mode, you move one way. And when you're out of survival mode, you move a different way. And that's part of the shift too. So in those quiet, chill moments where there's not a lot to do, we're supposed to be integrating what we have learned and allowing ourselves to prepare for the next step. Because we don't want to behave in the next step like we're 3 steps back. So we don't want to behave when we receive the blessings the way that we behaved when we were getting tested. So that's really what this time of quiet is for. Oh, Tiptoe Joe? I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think that's what that means. But I mean, you might be the a hole of hip hop. That's what you want to be. Like, we need that too. Can you imagine if you didn't have one? Oh, you'd get sick and die real quick. Okay, okay. I'm not going to go on that tangent, even though it's cracking me up inside. Okay, okay. Good giggle out. Okay, done. Okay, I'm done. Yes. 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 Yes, 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 and yes. I'm looking at all of your messages. You all are right on it. Right on it. Yes. Exactly. Oh, good. I'm glad you're still here, Tasha. Yeah, these lives are, I think they're pretty good to just be able to listen to. I go I've now that I've gotten used to my own voice, I do go back and listen to them sometimes. But for many years, I could not even listen to my own voice, which is so weird because you hear your own voice all the time in your head and when you're talking. Like, whatever. That's healed, so we won't worry about it. Yes. Okay. So, we now see like what is happening with this shift. Oh, okay, good, Annie. I'm glad it's not just me. So we see what's happening here with this shifting that's happening, where everything is moving and shifting. But if we but hip hop is really pretty clear because it's already began this shift. So this shift is coming from a very large place because it's in that message is coming to all of us in all of these layers. So from the galaxy all the way down. And I had a crazy I don't ever know what to call them because they're not dreams anymore. I guess it's a vision. I'm being reminded I had a crazy vision probably about a month ago where it was the shift needed to happen so that three galaxies could merge. And that's what like Three Eye Atlas is coming in to make sure that whatever galaxy it came from is able to merge with ours. Don't ask me. I just wrote it down. It just came up right now. I don't have nothing else to say about it. I don't know. Maybe it'll spark something else in the rest of you. Yes, Judy. That's that's exactly like, oh, I sound different. That's what I sound like. Yeah. Now I'm just used to my voice. I was like, yeah, I sound like that all the time. Yeah, that's just my voice. So the reason hip hop is not um being impacted in the same way in this shifting um is because it already began its shift. And we can see a lot of that when we look at that divine triangle, which we've been talking about, where we already know, and I'll explain all these pieces because I know we have people that have not seen this yet. Oh, look at that. I don't think my drawing of this. I was about to say I think my drawing is getting better, but I don't think it is. I think it's so bad. Oh well. Oh well. uh, yes, Josh. And it's so weird. I never understood why people would think that we're the only we're like the only inhabitable planet and we're like the only living beings. I honestly think that we are like like to other conscious living beings in other galaxies, we are like, they're like, don't go to that planet. That planet is like full of dogs. Like that's how I think they look at us. Or even worse, like we're just like an ant. And they're like, I don't know why these ants are running around like this. I don't know why they're doing this. Oh my gosh. Okay. You keep getting me on tangents. It's all good though, because I like to laugh. All right, before I start this, because I know this is going to be a long one, let me get my water. Let me get a drink of water. You're right, Annie. It's good to not have any more surprises. I still get surprised, but it's different. Like, I used to get jump scared. Those surprises, no good. Now I get surprised, and I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. That's kind of funny. Unless it's cousin B and that scary ass mask he was wearing yesterday. That took me back to my jump scare days. All right, so this is our divine triangle, and so this is Annie. That's funny. Um, yes. Oh my gosh, you all are so funny. But yes, it's true. Okay, so this is our divine triangle. This actually helps to give us some kind of structure to how we move along the vibrational or the energetic plane. And so we're going to think about this in terms of hip hop. And so we first have this triangle here in the center. And this is the divine triangle. This triangle represents um, us as an individual, or in this case, this represents the vibrations, the energy that makes hip hop who it is. So these are the vibrations that really don't have control over. So this is like your life path number, which comes from the date you were born. Don't have too much control over that. This also includes your name, which you have some control over. So you could change your name or use a different name. But it also includes your astrology. So the alignments of the bigger vibrations at the moment you were born. And it also includes all of, we'll just put DNA, because it includes all of your ancestors, all of those past vibrations that you're carrying with you. So if we think about this in terms of hip hop, we have hip hop's name. It's hip hop, a vibration of 72. We have hip hop's life path number from when it was born. We have the astrology, and we have like where hip hop originated from, what came before. So we can go back and we can look at like, oh, it was, a mix of that disco era and jazz and the blues that brought forth hip hop in its current form. So this pink triangle is really the essence of hip hop. It's what makes hip hop who it is. These are the things that, even if we like healed generational curses that are found in our DNA, those vibrations still make up who we are at the core. And so that is what this center part is about. The squares then tell us how, starting from this vibrational foundation, how we as individuals, because this is the same for us as an individual. We're using hip hop as an example, but this is the same for us. So the squares talk about how we build up vibration from our experiences. How do we build up that vibration and our perspective? And that building of vibration and perspective is like the best word I've been able to find for it is identity. Where your identity takes this essence, this core of who you are, and then it adds on experience. It adds on your choices and your decisions and how you've moved through the world. It adds on the vibrations of the relationships you have with others. So for hip hop, those experiences are including when a new artist or a new fan or a new person steps into the hip hop space in any capacity, whether it's a fan of hip hop, whether it's a stan of a particular artist, whether it is an artist that is moving into the hip hop space, even if it's an artist that is coming from a genre that would be considered outside of the hip hop space, but is moving within the hip hop space, that is a relationship and experience, a vibrational experience that adds to the identity of hip hop. And so what we see is that this building of identity starts in this youth square. So this is where we are beginning to build identity. Each one of these lines is 9 years. So if this is 0, this is 9, then from 9 to 18, and then here is 27. And we've talked about before the 9 cycles. I talk about it every month, but the 9 cycles is how we build up the energy. So I'm going to go up this way and just give us a reminder of that 9 cycle. So the 9 cycle literally it's a cycle that we go through where we're going through the vibrations of from 1 all the way to 9. So we start at 1, and then we have 2, and then we have 3, and then we have 4, and 5. Ooh, this is ugly. And 6. It's okay though. 7. Just gonna keep going. And 8 and 9. And so what this 9 cycle does is it grabs those vibrations, it grabs those energies, and it starts, basically it's like weaving. It's weaving them and building it up. Building it up. And so this energy is being built up. So over these 9 years, in the youth phase, we're getting a build up of identity. We're getting more and more experiences that are adding to that core to be able to build up and build this identity. So the youth phase is considered the phase where we are building identity. So then At each one of these corners, each one of these corners is where we're ending one of those 9 cycles. So this is where we are transitioning or pivoting. So this is like a life transition point. I didn't mean to write it. I didn't mean to write life. I just wanted to say it and write pivot. There we go. So at each one of these corners is where we are making a transition or we're pivoting. Except when we get to 27, where now this is our first big shift in life. This is where we have our first shift, and it's because we are shifting out of youth into power. So for hip hop, let's see if we can put some dates in here. So hip hop was born in 1973. And so this shift, so we had the first shift that occurred in 2000. So think about that. Think about the discussions that we have about hip hop. What are the eras of hip hop? There's something about this 2000 mark that always comes up. Especially when we think about that, like, then this point is that 2009 when both Kendrick Lamar and Aubrey became a pivotal, like a pivotal part of this hip hop story. Is this making sense? So we've already seen a shift in hip hop happen. So we can go back to that to be able to get some insight on the shift that is occurring now. The only difference is that now we've built up more energy. Yeah. Yeah. Yes. Yes, Judy. Like anybody that came on the scene in that 2000 were a pivotal part of this shift. Oh, good. I'm glad that you saw that video. I was wondering if you would get to see it, and I hope you liked it. I hope everybody liked it. I was trying to come at that poetic justice theory from a vibrational sense, something a little bit different. So after this 2000 point, and for us as individuals, this is when we're 27. So this shift usually begins, so this big shifting point usually begins at the halfway point here. And you feel it until like the half point, at least the halfway point here. But if you don't allow yourself to shift, now you're having to do a lot of work because you're shifting into power whether you like it or not. Because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what cream we use. It doesn't matter what operation we get. Your body is still 27 years old. You still approaching 30, boo-boo. I don't care if you made yourself to look like you're 18. I don't care if you act like you're 10. You're making the shift whether you like it or not. So going back to thinking about our one body example, the body is moving through time. So your body is moving through time whether you like it or not. So this shift at age 27 and around age 27 is definitely happening, whether you like it or not. And so, let's see. I wanted to see. Uh, yeah, I don't care if you were the top jock in high school and you're living out your glory days. You're 50 and bald, boo. It's okay. We love you. Love yourself. That's what the point is. Like, this shift is happening. That's a good question. That's a good question, Annie. So, I will answer it. I will answer it for you. We might go down a rabbit hole, but we like those here. My whole life's full of rabbit holes. I like it here. There's tea parties. Oh, too far, but it's real. So, uh, no, it's because it's a good question. It's actually a really good question, Annie. Uh, because that it always comes up about how does time even come into the space. So, Annie's question is about why is it said that time doesn't exist? So we were talking about, let me make sure I'm out of pin mode so we're talking about being at this shift at 27 and that um this shift is going to happen whether you like it or not because your body is moving through time. So, there's a couple of different things that are happening here that we have to discuss. So, we've talked about this before where there's actually two kinds of time. So, oh, look, our little blue guy has now a new little black friend. Oh, I hope you're not the only black friend. Okay, let me stop. So, if this is us in the present moment, so present moment, we have already moved a long time from our past. We're moving in the direction of our future. And this is horizontal time. I don't know why I'm feeling so extra goofy today. Oh well. I still love me. So we're moving along this timeline. And the reason we have time, we only have time in the earth space. Like, you go out to space and you go out to any planet, they're not worried about, like, the planets are not worried about, like, how many times they've gone around the sun. Because that's all our age is how many times we've gone around the sun. And we have time here on Earth because our reason for being here on Earth is to gather experiences. In order to have an experience and build up that identity, we have to have time. Because without this horizontal time, so let's say there's an event. So there is an event in time. Here's our event in the past that happened. And we're carrying that energy with us from our past. We have had, from the time of that event until this present moment, to integrate that energy into our identity as an experience. Not necessarily the ego, um, but if we were outside of time, we would have that experience and we would just carry the energy of it. We would just carry this moment in time. We would carry the energy of it, but we would not have this experience. We wouldn't have, so like when we are thinking about our past, we're thinking about the memories, those experiences. And one of the things that we think about is like, oh, how long ago it was. We need that in order to be able to work with vertical time. So we need to have horizontal time so we actually have an experience. Because if we don't have it, what happens is like, all right, here we are again. And we don't have we do not have any of this time. So when this event happens, we just take on that energy. And we are now just there. We're not moving because we're not moving through time. And then another experience happens and it just layers on here. We keep having these events happen, but it's just layering on. We need time to be able to work through the event so that it can become an experience for us. We can make it memory. And then that also, I gotta erase our cute little guy here. Maybe not. Let me see if I can. Can I move you? Yay! I did it. So being able to have that experience in time then allows us to access vertical time. And vertical time is about really who we are. And so on vertical time, we have this shadow, which is not a bad thing. And up here, we have, I guess we could call it light. I don't know. I never know what to call it. But basically, up here at the top, it's our highest vibrational self. Our highest vibe self. So if we're not aware of horizontal time, we can't be aware of vertical time, and so then we're not able to heal. So what happens is when we have this experience, when we have this event that happens and it causes an experience, that experience first goes into the shadow realm, which is like our subconscious mind. It goes into our subconscious mind. And then as it's able to come up, then we're able to access a more healed version of this experience to be able to heal it. So it comes from our subconscious mind into our conscious mind, and then we can intentionally make changes to that experience. We can't change what the event was, but we can change how we experienced it. We can change our response to it. We can change how we carry this energy or how we use it. So we need to have both of these kinds of time, because then what happens is we take this experience, it goes down into this shadow space. When we access it, we're able to bring it into the present time and then raise it up so that we're able to heal it. Now, this helps us move out into the future. Okay, good. I'm glad this is making sense. So if we did not have time, we would not be able to go through this necessary part of life to raise our vibrations. We would never be able to get to our highest vibrational self. Hi, Rusty. Thanks for coming in. We wouldn't be able to do that. So it's necessary. And so when people say, oh, you're supposed to live in the present moment, what it is this, it's this whole process. It is. Oh, cool. You're right. It does look like a butterfly. And the butterfly is the symbol of transformation. And that's what this is. So that's cool. I love that. So when they talk about you're needing to be in the present moment, you cannot be consciously aware of the experiences you've had in your past and how they have impacted you if you're still living in the past. So you can't have this motion of being able to heal your response and how you're using that energy from the event in your past to be able to get to a higher version of yourself and move into the future. You wouldn't be able to do that. So all of this is very necessary. And you're supposed to be in the present moment so that you have the awareness of your past and the awareness of your future, because being in present doesn't mean you're in the future either. So I could give you an example after I get some water. So the example I could give you is from like my own healing journey. So there was a point in my life, which is I'm sure is the same for all of us, because we all have these moments. It's the reason why we're here on Earth, even though it's annoying as hell, where my mind raced with things that happened in the past. And all I could think about were the traumas that I experienced, what people said, what people did, very outside of my body, but very much stuck in the past. And then the ways I worked with and behaved and interacted with other people, it was from my past self. So you know you're in your past self if your past experience or events that happened in the past are controlling how you're behaving in the present moment of time. But then I found that one of the ways that I could um, not think about the past was to be able to think about the future. And so then I got fixated, because I can get fixated, on the future. And so then my brain and my mind all the time was thinking about what I was going to create next and what I was going to do next, and thinking just about the future. But the future never comes, because when you get there, it's present. So thinking about the future all the time, I got stuck there also. And there was actually a lot of disappointment there too, because then I kept judging myself for not being there and for not have like met those goals, which when you really think about it is also ridiculous and just as bad as like being stuck in the past. So it's a level of awareness and intentionality. We are aware that our past exists. We're aware that what has happened in the past is there. And even if we heal it, we still have that happen in our past. We just change our reaction. We change how we are using that energy that came from that event in our past. We also can have the visions of the future. We're aware of where we are going and where we want to go. But when we are thinking about being intentional, whether it's in our healing our past or moving forward into the future, we can only do that from the present moment. And so that's what it means to be present. It's not ignoring the past, and it's not ignoring the future. It's having a level of awareness that they both exist, and then intentionally using the energy of both in order to live in the present and focus intentionally on becoming our most highest vibrational self. Yeah, Rusty, like when we actually realize how powerful we are, then yeah, we could do all of that astral travel. And you know what I'm ready for? Telepathy. Let's have telepathy. Because then everybody could just like talk to me and I wouldn't have to go nowhere. And I could turn that off way easier than somebody talking to me nonstop. Yes, Annie. Everything starts from the present moment. It's awareness, it's a combination of awareness, because that's how you start in the present, is being aware, and then being intentional. So healing is very intentional. You can't heal something that you're not aware of, or that you're not allowing yourself to be aware of. Okay, I told you it was going to be a rabbit hole, but this was a good one. Hopefully that answered your question, Annie. Oh, you got the telepathy going already, huh? I don't think of it as like hearing voices, Tiptoe Joe. I think of it as like being able to project my voice into other people's brains. But you know what? They have lots of meds for profits. That's all I'm going to say. And here we go. Yes, Annie. Yes, it is. Life is a real bitch. But with awareness, we can at least know why we're here. And I don't know, for myself and hopefully for you, just understanding um like what is even the purpose, even that small little bit is is good. Like it that helps me on those really bad days. I'm like, all right, like that experience that I just endured for the last freaking year was really bad, but its purpose was to help me to get to a level of awareness so that I could heal and become a higher vibrational version of myself. Yes, Rusty. Yes. You can use telepathy to talk to animals, to talk to trees, to talk to people. See? I think that would be like the best superpower ever. I want that one. I always go back and forth whether I want to roll with just telepathy or do I want to be like the watcher where telepathy is in there, but it's all kinds of other really good superpowers with it. Mm, that is a different rabbit hole, Annie. But hold that. That might be a good one for a Friday. Because I can tell you all about that, too. Okay, so here we go. We're going to get back to hip hop over here. But now we know what is happening. So we need to build up those experiences through time so that we can build the identity. We're building the identity off of the essence of that pink triangle, which is all of those starting vibrations, that starting energy that we're starting with. Oh, yeah, you're right, Josh. Yes, exactly. That's what the sixth sense is. Part of that is seeing dead people, but not all of it. Yes. Yes. Yes, Rusty. Yes. Yes, exactly, Annie. And what I would like us to start thinking about is attention with intention because we are at a point of awareness for ourselves that um, where we direct our attention, that's where the energy is flowing through. Like we can see that now. But where we're going, the shift that is happening is that we now need to begin to be intentional. We need to choose that attention. So, like, no more squirrel. Because that's the only way we get to that higher vibrational place where then we can do these things. Where we can, it's not just directing the energy in a certain place or in a certain way, but it's actually changing how that energy is impacting and the amplitude of it, like how much energy. Oh my gosh, am we going to go on a different tangent? Okay, no, I'm not going to go on a different tangent. We're going to stay here. We're going to stay here. I love our tangents though. Yes, attention with intention. Yes, exactly, Josh. Exactly. 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 And that's what like meditation does. So meditation, what it actually is. And that's why you don't have to do it in the same way as everybody else. What meditation is, it's accessing your subconscious mind when you are conscious. So I'll say that again. A meditative state is when you are able to access your subconscious mind when you are conscious. So we tend to only access our subconscious mind when we're like sleeping, when we're not in our conscious mind. And so then that's where we have like our nightmares that are related to things that we're supposed to be healing. Or that's where we have our visions of what's coming in the future and our prophetic information. And instead, we need to be able to figure out how to be able to access our subconscious mind while we're still conscious. And wrapping it around and bringing us back to hip hop, Kendrick Lamar talks about all the time where when he's running, that's when he's accessing God and his subconscious mind. So running is what gives him that meditative state to be able to access that subconscious mind while he is conscious. That's where all of these prophetic lyrics came from. That's when you can hear God. But yes, Judy, but meditation doesn't have to be just sitting like a monk. You have to find what helps you to get into that meditative state. It could be lots of things. It could be lots of things. And you really need that meditative state when you hit this time point of this shift. Whenever you're hitting a shift, that's when you need to be accessing that subconscious state so that you can heal and be able to move forward into the next set of energies. So while this youth phase, you were collecting and building up the energy of experience. Hey, you know what? Whatever works for you. So we're building up the energy of all these experiences to be able to build the identity. And then we begin to shift all of that energy. We shift that identity into power. And now power is where our identity is tested and strengthened. So when you are testing something, you're looking for areas of where it's not strong so that you are able to make it stronger and build up the strength of it. So we primarily are doing a lot of our healing work in this power square. This is why we have midlife crisis. So we've gone through this shift. And then we get to this place where, so right here is when we're 36. And this is when we're 45. And then this is when we're 54. And this is for everything. So it's for us as individuals, it's for hip hop as a culture, as a group of people, an energy. And it's for like even things that are much older than this whole divine triangle, like a country. So a country works on this vibrational cycle as well. It just goes around way more times than we do as an individual. So when we're in this power square, this is when the identity is being tested. So we've seen that hip hop moved into this power square starting in 2000. So starting from 2000, it has already had this testing happening in preparation for its next shift, where its next shift is right here at 54. And for hip hop, this is going to be 2027. Because hip hop currently is 52, so it's like right about here. Yes, that's exactly why they say take your power back. Because that's what is happening here in this power square. So think about all that we've seen from 2000 till now in that hip hop space, where we very much have seen the testing of hip hop. Like, is this going to make you break? Is this going to make you change? Is this who you are? Is this your identity? Or is this your identity? Does this represent you or does this represent you? So there's been all of this testing of identity in this space. So this is why, because hip hop is already preparing for its own individual shift, this is why it's not that it's not feeling it, it's just not as impacted by this energy of needing to shift, because it's already moving. Other entities and other spaces, other organizations, other cultures that have not been doing this work, even within hip hop, if you see the people that are not making this shift, it's getting harder and harder not to shift. Like, they're being forced to shift. And it's even more so because this shift is happening whether we like it or not. And it's not even just us. It's even bigger than us. And for this shift, so you know as an individual, this shift from power, and actually the next phase, let's see, I need a different color. What color can I use? Here we go. This, you're shifting from power into wisdom. So when we're making this shift from power to wisdom, it actually starts sooner because you need to do more. Especially if you have not done what you needed to do before. So if you did not take in the energy energy of your experiences, if you did not have awareness and intention with the events of your past, then you're not building that identity. So if you haven't built your identity, then when it comes to testing your identity, it keeps falling apart and you keep having to put it together. So when you get to prepare for this shift from power to wisdom, you have a lot more work to do. Because it's happening whether you like it or not. So whether any of us that are in the hip hop space, and this includes the artists, this includes the industry, anybody in the hip hop space, anybody that is not part of the shift is going to feel it more. They're going to have to, one, put a whole lot more effort into trying to stop it, which we see. And they're going to get hit a lot harder when they begin to learn that they can't stop it. The shift is going to happen, period. But it usually starts around this 45 and then goes all the way here to when this is when you are 63. So it's a bigger part of time. So just like we were looking at the time is what you need to be able to raise the vibration. So here at this transition point, you need more time. This is where hip hop is right now. Hip hop has also already experienced, because there's lots in this power phase. This is where you get a lot of those astrological like testing points. One of them is right here, and that's the return of Chiron. This is like the testing of wounds. So if you've done your healing work up to this point, when Chiron comes in and starts poking your wounds, you're going to be like, what are you doing? That's all healed up. But if you're walking around with some nasty, oozy bandage on your wound, then when it starts getting poked, you're going to have even harder time dealing with that. And we've seen that in hip-hop also. Because these wounds are not the wounds, it's not just the wounds that have been inflicted on you. So these are not just the wounds that hip-hop has taken on from the outside of the culture. These are also the wounds that hip-hop has inflicted on others. Both sets of wounds have to be healed within ourselves as an individual. So this long old tangent is why hip hop, the shift that's happening in hip hop and around us in every aspect of life, this is why it looks different in that hip hop space. Wow, that took a while. but good stuff. I did want to let me just put in the ages and the years for wisdom. So what hip hop is shifting into, where wisdom is using your identity to build a legacy outside of yourself. So this is your identity legacy. So when we think about a legacy, it really is taking who you are and giving it to the outside world, because our legacy does not continue in us, because when we're gone, our legacy doesn't end. It continues on in the people around us, the people that we impacted. So that's like if we're thinking about like some of our hip hop artists. So if we're thinking about like Tupac's been gone for quite a while, but his legacy lives on and keeps impacting people because it's other people that carry our legacy. So the wisdom box is about sharing your wisdom of the experiences that you have collected over time and built up over time to help and to give wisdom to other people, because then that's what becomes your legacy. Yeah, we could talk about that. So let me put in the ages here. So for wisdom, it starts there at 54, but then here is when you're 63. This is 72. And then this is when you're 81. You just start going past this again. So you just go again. And this is where it's interesting, because when people get past that 81 age, they you kind of see it. There's a couple of different ways they go. Either they are tormented by their past, and it causes a lot of disease. It causes a lot of extra, like, I believe this dysfunction um, that sits in the body for that amount of time. That's what becomes dementia. But I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So what's happening is they're going back into the youth phase. And so if they've already worked with awareness and intention on what has happened in their youth, then they're able to work with that. But also, they can just become a really happy person too. But if you notice that older people, they do start reverting into more childlike, and not, but like in the good ways and the bad ways. And I think that just depends on the person and their experiences, and their life that they've lived. Because you see, like, people that are older, where when they just start not giving a fuck and just saying whatever the fuck they want to say, that's how a child is. Like, when a child is just like gonna tell all your business to all the neighbors. Yes, so you have an example in your life, Annie. And so it seems like whatever from your youth phase you have held on to, good or bad, um, you're re-experiencing it again at those after those ages. Okay, so let's see. Let's get some years in here though. Also, so at 2027, so I don't know if I've said it, but this is the pivotal point that we're waiting for in hip hop. This is like where we are, because it's like right now, um, we're preparing for this shift, and then once this shift happens, now we are um, making those final adjustments and like corrections. And so um, hip hop will be 63. Let's see. Hip hop will be 63 in 2036. Isn't it weird to like see those years? And I think about, like, it was weird to think about the 2000s, but I don't know. That looks weird. But that's what it is. And then hip hop will be 72 in 2045. And then hip hop will turn 81 in 2054. So I think this is also why we are seeing um, so many of these OGs in hip hop, these artists that are not just older in age, but they represent that youth of hip hop because they're coming out and they're preparing to pass on the wisdom of hip hop. They're preparing to pass on the wisdom to build the legacy of hip hop. So I think this is actually a good sign. I think having these older artists come back out and be very active again is what can help the younger in age artists be able to learn from that wisdom and then start also being able to contribute to the legacy building of hip hop. I don't know. What do you think? I'm getting some water while you all are typing away. Do you all type with like your fingers or your thumbs? Just curious. Oh, good. I'm glad it's making sense. So just remember that when we're talking about artists within hip hop, though, that they are um, experiencing both this shift that's happening for hip hop because of it is approaching 54, but also they're impacted by their own individual movement on that divine triangle also. So it's almost like um, here's the individual artist divine triangle, and overlaid on top of it is hip hop's. And so then it's really figuring out how to be able to meld those together. And so, like somebody that is honoring hip hop's identity, because this is what we've seen also. If you're honoring hip hop's identity, honoring where hip hop is on its vibrational identity building path, then you can be aligned and you can jump in that vibrational pocket and take off in that space. But if you're fighting it, if you're trying to have hip hop um, convert to you and your energy and your individual divine triangle, then you're in for some headaches and some heartaches because you're going to have a hard time. Good. I'm glad this is making sense. Yes, very much so. So we continue to kind of see this. So that's what will be interesting to be able to watch for is all of these signs. So like the testing of runes for hip hop, we're gonna be there for probably another. Well, it should be kind of ending off now. But because this testing of wounds usually starts at like 50 and goes until about 52. But again, if the wounds are not addressed with awareness and intention, then they cannot heal. And then you're carrying them with you into this shift. But I really think that that's like hip hop is healing its wounds on its own. That's why we're seeing like all of these fall offs, all of these revelations, all of these like discussions around hip hop and the wounds that it has inflicted, but also taken on. Very interesting. That's a good question. So when somebody is wise beyond their age, it's usually one of two things, or both, or a combination of two. So it's probably three. There's three things that could be happening there. One, they are still carrying the wisdom from their previous rotation. So they're actually coming in. That's like where the saying that you have an old soul comes from. Like an old soul is still carrying because that's part of this DNA. An old soul is still carrying the wisdom from its previous times of building up identity experience. So there's that. Also, you see it when somebody at a young age is very attentive to somebody else that is sharing wisdom. So this is why, like, when people tell like their success stories, there's usually another person. They were like, oh, it was my teacher, it was my coach that was so influential, it was, my mom that was so influential to me, that I really listened to what she said, and I took on her wisdom and considered it my own. Because we learn, and learning is healing, because learning is being consciously aware of what you don't know and having the intention to know it. So when we are learning, we can either learn from our mentors, so somebody that has the wisdom, they've already had the experience and they're trying to share that wisdom with us, or we learn from our own mistakes. So we learn from experiencing that same event or similar events, so that we can learn and build that identity. So somebody that is said to be an old soul, that's very wise beyond their years, either has an old soul in that they're carrying the wisdom of, like, we could call it past lives, but they're just carrying that wisdom within their DNA, or because it could be both, they have had a lot of mentoring that has happened from somebody that they didn't necessarily have to be. It doesn't necessarily have to be an older person that is imparting that wisdom. It's usually just someone that's older than them or older than you. And it's because they've already had that experience. And so they're trying to give you the wisdom from that experience. Does that answer your question, Annie? So, like, we hear it even in hip hop, where there are some artists that are just like old souls. They're hip hop's old souls coming back around. Yes. Yes, Josh, exactly. 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 Good. Good. I'm glad that answered your question. What other questions do you have? I think this is fascinating, and I actually feel really honored and blessed that I get to observe, witness, and document. I say it all the time. All of us should be documenting not only our experience, but our experience within spaces. Like, we need to document our experiences and what we've witnessed and observed within hip hop, within our countries, within our families, within the world, because that is building up of that energy. It's helping to raise the vibration for everybody. So I feel very honored that I get to observe and be part of watching this shift happen, because this is like historic. I've looked and I haven't really found, because there's lots of points in time. Um, Again, if we're thinking about like these layers, there's lots of points of time where only one of these levels has gotten the message to shift. So, like, if it's, oh, like a certain country is getting this message to shift and it starts moving in a different way. We've seen that a lot, but it's extremely rare to be able to see a moment in time where everything is shifting. All of it is shifting. It's very interesting. Mm. Yeah, that's actually a really interesting way of thinking about it. So, what I would need you to do, Josh, um, first we have to think about, when did the industry begin? So, like, we're able to get the life path number of um, hip hop because we have a date that we use for its birth. But we would need, so like, you can use a business birth date to get its life path number, but we would need to, for the industry as a whole, we'd need to pick one, probably pick one label, which are way older than hip hop. Yes, yes, Annie. Yes, I'm gonna go through your numbers because we still have to get our random number for the week also. So I'll make sure to get your numbers. So, Josh, if you could pick an industry giant, pick an industry giant and find me the date of when it was incorporated. When did it first become an entity? Yeah, look into it, and then let's yeah, let's dig into that, because we can very much be able to look at how hip hop is interacting with that other entity, because it definitely would be older than hip hop, because we've seen industry, especially music industry, for a very long time. And that feels like, so Josh, see what you find. I feel like maybe what we can do, Josh, do some research, send it over to me in Discord, and we can put something together, because it I think that needs to have its whole own space and time. But I like that idea. That's a good one. So, Annie, why don't you go ahead and put your numbers in? And while you're doing that, I will spin our random number wheel. So we can get that. Okay, good. I'm glad that sounds good to you, Josh. That's great. All right. Are we ready? We ready to spin our wheel? Yeah. No, you're fine, Annie. No, I welcome you to bring your numbers. That's absolutely fine. I see numbers all the time, everywhere, every day anyway. Um and it's really good for everybody to start being aware that those vibrations may come in for you differently, but we're interacting with them every day. And so to begin to get awareness so then we can intentionally use them is a very powerful thing. All right, so for anybody that hasn't been here before, every Saturday we spin our wheel of random numbers and we get a number to focus on for the week. And it's just a way to be able to start looking for that number or the themes that that number tells us so that we can begin to be consciously aware of the vibrations we're encountering every day. Because by being consciously aware of those vibrations, now we can be more intentional in how we want to move with them, how we want to work with them, and so that's very important. So let's spin the wheel. Are you all ready? You all ready to spin the wheel? Let me go get to our wheel. Oh, this whole page looked crazy. Hold on. What's happening here? What's happening here? Okay, there we go. Here we go. Let's spin the wheel. No, we don't want to see all you. There we go. There we go. Now we got our wheel. All right, now, here we go. We're spinning the wheel. Woo! Woo! Okay, interesting, interesting, interesting. 4:30. So this will be an interesting one because we could see this time wise. And there were other ones that we could see time wise, but this one feels more like a time. So this week, we really want to focus in on where we see and experience this vibration of 430. 430. So we want to, and for anybody that hasn't heard me say it, but it's also a good reminder for all of us that when you are seeing a number that is resonating with you, it feels like it's vibrating for you. It feels like it's a message for you. It feels like it's important. We want to make sure that we are writing it down, but also thinking about what were we thinking about, who were we talking to, what were we doing, what are the actions and thoughts around seeing that number, because that again helps us to begin to get to that level of awareness where we can be intentional. So 430, we first have this 0, which is God energy or universal energy or divine energy. So this week we'll be looking for where has this divine energy or God energy come in and just kind of come in and not like taken over, but where has it come in and endorsed what is happening? Because it's here at the end, that means it's enhancing these other vibrations. So it's like when you say something was done in divine timing or it was a miracle. It could be like something that happens all the time, but in that moment, that God energy came in and made it a miracle. It amped up that vibration of that moment. And so we want to just be aware of where that God or divine energy is coming into play. I know some of you are very glad to not see any fives. I actually am also. What this God energy wants to enhance is it feels like this 43 is really acting together as a 7, where 7 is about being in action, in flow, or in like taking action in divine time, which makes sense with this 0 here. So the universe, God is putting this energy into this vibration so that the action that is being taken is definitely in divine time. It's in vibrational flow. It's saying that this action is very important. Whatever actions are happening this week. And so the actions that we want to be looking for are ones that promote growth, and remembering that growth can happen in any direction. So it could be something that is done that digs a deeper hole, because that hole getting bigger, it's growing. So that's growth also. It also can be growth as in just getting bigger or going higher. So this divine energy is coming in and promoting action in vibrational flow. And this action is coming from growth that is supporting stability or the foundation being built. Because the 4 is coming here on the far left, it's really about this new foundation. So we were just talking about all of this shifting. So it's what's happening is there's an action being taken. It's in vibrational flow. So that expansion and growth can happen, but it happens in a way where it supports the building of this new foundation or this new level of stability. And by doing that, then it gets us to being able to take more action. Because we already got into this divine timing, this vibrational flow with this 0, that then we're able to take more action in flow here. So that's what we're looking for this week. So we're looking for where this God, universal, divine energy has come in to the space and is requiring action be taken. Action at that divine time, action in a very divine vibrational flow way. And we see that when we know it's the right action, because there'll be some kind of growth in any direction that is leading to or changing this foundation. So if that growth is like digging the hole, making the hole bigger, then that could mean that the foundation, the new foundation, is actually smaller or is crumbling. So we just have to keep all of those scenarios and options in mind. So there's the vibration for the day. I will get to Annie's numbers now. And if there's anybody else that wants some numbers, just let me know in the chat. But this will end just the hip hop portion of today. So anybody that is leaving, thanks for being here. Make sure you hit the like button on your way out, and please come back. Anybody that's staying, please stay, please stay. And we're going to talk some more vibrations and numbers. Oh no, not again. I did not see your numbers. I didn't see your numbers. Oh no, not again. I did meditate on what was happening where I was not seeing the numbers, because it just seemed so weird that I'm the one that's not seeing the numbers in the chat. And I do have some messages around that. I have to decode them a little bit more and translate them a little bit more. And I probably won't share that information here because I'm telling you, YouTube, I see you. But I'm not going to tell them how I see them. But I'll tell you all, probably in Discord. Yeah, it's crazy. All right, I don't know. Yes, that's what I was going to say, Josh. Yesterday, Josh just had to actually write them out for me to be able to see them. It's so crazy. Really? I just saw your message, Josh, that 316 has now become 317. That is very, very interesting. Very interesting. Make sure you note that. Thank you so much for being here, Tasha. Yes, please come back. Thank you so much. You stayed all the way to the end. Man, you're a trooper. That's great. I'm glad you enjoyed it. We'll see you soon. Come back. Oh, yeah. We do have a... But you know I don't operate with a time anyway, Judy. Yeah, we have the time changes happening tomorrow. But not everywhere changes their time. And I don't... For me, I'm just... Time is weird. So, I'll be here. I'll be here when I'm here. So I don't know. The time change is really weird because so we have the time change. It's really just because it was trying to give the farmers more daylight when they were harvesting. So weird. Yes, I agree, Judy. Like, yeah, this is. I'm. We are going into the season where we might be having a lot of conversations about the dark, because this is. I actually not this past year so much. Well, no, that's not true. But I do suffer from a touch of seasonal depression. So I'm sure um those topics will come up. Oh my gosh, did you put them in again? Yeah, we I can't see in 'em. I can't see them. Like YouTube is blocking like strings of numbers. And you know what's interesting? I don't even remember which live stream it was, but I remember I was in a live stream here recently, like within the next. It's not you, Annie. It's YouTube. YouTube's been doing that. It's been happening for like 2 weeks now. But there was a live where I just was drawn to just put the numbers in. I'm sure you all saw me. Just put the numbers in, and I was putting in, and I did it a couple times in a couple of different lives, and I think I put it in Twitch too, where I was like, all I could say is these numbers. That's it. Like that's what I need to say. And it was right around that time too that then I no longer could see the numbers in YouTube. So something was happening. I was picking up on something. Oh, there we go. So one, two. I'm gonna write them. So let's see. 1, 2, 7, 5, 8, 2, 1, 1. So each one is angel numbers. So like the one is 111, and then 222, and then 777. Okay, the seven. There's five sevens. Okay, like this, and then five. Is it 555? Okay, so then 555 and 888 and 222, and then this is 111 and 111. Does that look right? Only the last one. Okay. So now like this. Oh, Josh, that's funny. So there's another one before the one that's four times. So if I deleted this and then did this, do we get it? Okay. So YouTube, even when you're an asshole, you still God, the universe is going to allow us to get the message, whether you like it or not. Because the first thing I was seeing when I was writing it this way before I made them angel numbers, um, it's this where you have these mirror images, and then that means that this part is what's appearing as the mirror. So that would be the equivalent. So here and here, and then this is now the mirror. So yeah, interesting. So basically, all right, let me get to a different space so I can actually draw out what I'm seeing. So what it looks like there's like these two mirror images, and they are creating this portal space. That looks like a smiley guy with some glasses. But it's creating this portal space where the mirror, what's acting as a mirror, now he's got a weird nose, is being projected outward. And once it's projected outward, then we're able to get to this outcome. So this goes to here. But then, let me just check this. Oh, yeah, it does. So, but then, so we know that this is that last piece. But then what's happening is this is feeding back in here, and this loop is happening again. Because you have these two ones that get you the one energy here, but then when these are added together, it gets you the two here. Okay, so before we even are adding anything up, what it is very much feeling like is you, ma'am, are stuck in a loop, in a vibrational loop. And it's coming from some kind of it's like a looking in the mirror and a reflection of the mirror. Now, this is not like, again, like all of these vibrations are neutral. So it's not that this is necessarily a bad thing. It just depends on your perspective. If you look at this as a bad thing, then it's going to be a bad thing. But if you look at it as a good thing, it can be a good thing. Because when you get one of these cycling loops that are coming back around, you could use it to, like a 9 cycle, to build up the energy and then intentionally put it where you want to go. Or you could feel like you are stuck in the washer machine and you're drowning. So, okay, and most of them are car plates. Now that makes sense. That makes sense why they feel like they're moving. Because that's adding to this, where it's adding to the feeling of this motion. But let's start getting some numbers in here to better understand what's happening within this looping. So let's start with here. So this is actually 1, 1, 1, and 2, 2, 2. So here it's yeah. So it's this 2 that then is enhancing this 1. So this 2 energy is basically it's saying, if you look at the extremes in your life and make sure that you get rid of the stuff that is no longer working for you, then you'll be left with this new energy to be able to actually work with. But on this other side, it's the opposite. And so this side is trying to feed this new energy that's coming into your space into trying to get rid of this dualism. Now, I don't know which side is going to work, but you have to look at how they're working together, because they definitely are working together, and that's why this is spinning. So it is like you're having to choose between, at any moment in time, you're having to choose between, is the first step getting rid of the things that don't work for me and combining the things that do work for me to create something new so that new energy could flow? Or is it taking in this new energy and allowing that new energy to let me know what energy needs to be gone and what energy needs to stay to create something new? So this is going to require you to make sure you're taking a step back and you're really examining and being patient, because the only way that you're going to get this peace in the middle is if you're doing this correctly. So it's making sure that you are giving yourself the time and the space to really understand what is the right move for you in this moment, so that this energy is moving in a way that works. And then you'll know it's working because you'll get this piece to come through. Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So then the piece that's here in the middle that you're trying to get to come through are these 4 7s, these 3 5s, and these 3 8s. And this very much is flowing in this direction out. So you're starting here, like you'll know 5 7s. Yeah, you'll know, thank you. You'll know that you have got this moving the way that you need it to, because all of the actions that you take towards change. Because you have 5 7s here, which is change, but then the next vibration that's coming in are these 3 5s. So you'll know that you are going the right direction and doing the right thing, because you'll get this energy moving in a way that you'll be in vibrational flow where all of the actions that you take for change are in that vibrational flow. But you have to be careful, because just like how vibrations are neutral, this energy can move in either direction. So you want to make sure that it's moving in the direction that you want it to, so that you're going to be taking action in that vibrational flow that's actually going to get you to where you're going. Because you'll take the action in this vibrational flow, that'll lead to a lot more change because you get to this 5, and it'll lead to creating these cycles. So like getting this energy to cycle, it'll create these cycles that are not that are very hard to break, which could be a good thing or a bad thing. And so I'm talking about the 8s now, where the changes you make with your actions in flow, if they are for your greatest good, then the cycles that you create will be this good cycling energy that will allow you to be able to really be more intentional with what you're doing, because you won't have, there'll be certain things that you're not having to do or be as conscious in doing. It's something about being able to be like on autopilot. Like there's some things that need to do so that it's on autopilot. So I don't know what that is. Hopefully you know. Because it's like you need some things to be on autopilot so that you are able to free up your time and energy to intentionally put it in another direction. And that other direction is this blue. So this other direction is the blue, where it's the 111. So this, by making sure that those things are on autopilot, it's freeing up your time and your space and your energy, so then it can go here. And if you notice, there's 7 ones in here, so it's again that action and flow. It's using that it's using this energy that's coming into the space. And it seems like this is energy that you already have. It's like you already have the resources, you already have what you need. You're just not able to use it yet because you have to get this energy moving, so then this energy can come out, and then it like activates that energy you already have. And then that allows, let me see if I can get rid of some of this. There we go. Then that will feed back in here to keep the cycle going. Hopefully that makes sense to you, Annie, because like that's what it's feeling like. That's very much what I'm seeing. Huh. And okay, I'm glad it makes sense. And there's another little part here about fixing something. If you have or had somebody that was like always tinkering with things or like fixing things, they're related to this somehow. That's why this message is coming out this way, because their energy is in there. Okay, good. I'm glad it makes sense. You're very welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, so now that we all know that I cannot see numbers, would anybody else like to ask a question? So maybe let's try it like Jeopardy. Let's see if you can write a question with a number in it and it comes through the chat. Oh, I didn't even see you sneak in here, LTFM. I was kind of in a zone. Welcome in. Oh, you're like 30 minutes behind? All right, well, welcome to this point in time when you get here. I'm glad you're here. I just saw that LTFM has 50 subs now, which means he can go live. I'm so excited for that. That's a huge accomplishment. That's great. Hey! How did you do that, Judy? I see those numbers. Oh, but it has the slash in there. Okay, Josh. Yeah, see? Josh, you tapping into something interesting because that number 317 has actually been coming up a lot for me. Judy, is that um 11-3 something you want to talk about, or are you just trying to see if it goes through? Let me know. While I wait for you to let me know, I'm going to look. Oh man, my notebook. Look, this journal is almost done. You want to guess when I started this journal? So I'm about to start a new journal. So today's November 1st. You could guess when I started it. How long do you think it takes me to fill a journal? And this is not a high vibrational flow moment. When it's a high vibrational flow moment, then it's way faster. So just think about normally. That's a good guess, Annie. That's a good guess. That's actually closer to a high vibrational moment. So, like, for some reason, June, like the end of May, June, and early July. Oh, I'm glad you're still here, Tiptoe Joe. Um, for some reason, the end of May to the beginning of like August was a high vibrational moment. So this journal was started August 23rd. So what, like 2 months? Little over 2 months? That's how long it took me to fill this one. But June, this gives you a difference. June, um, we all were wondering, Tiptoe Joe. Thanks for telling us. um, June, which was a super high vibrational time, I think I have 2.5 journals just for June. Crazy. Okay, so Judy. Oh, on that actual day. Yeah, we can look at the vibrations for the third. We have something that's coming up on the 5th. I don't know what it is yet. I'll have to look it up. Like, I'm fixated right now because I feel like there is a 317 that I wrote recently that Josh needs. If I can't find it quickly, I will look and I will deliver it to you, Josh, probably in Discord. It's something that came up the last couple weeks, so I'm almost there. And if I can't find it, that's okay. Because I can find it later. Ah, I found it. Okay, so we'll get to that. So I found it, and now I'm gonna make you wait. Oh, that's as evil as I get. All right. So, oh yeah, that's right, Judy. So the 5th is your wedding anniversary. That's right. And it's the 5th. There's something coming up. Yeah, though there's something it feels like something astrologically. I got to look now or it's going to bother me. Um 5th. Oh, it's a full moon. The 5th is a full moon. So that's what's happening there. Okay. Okay. I knew I felt something, but I wasn't sure. Oh, yeah, that's right. Okay. I'm remembering now that all of these are coming up again. All right, so let's look at the third vibrationally. And then we'll look at the 317. All right, so we want to look at November, oh, not you, November 3rd, 2025. So we have 11 plus 3 plus, we know that's our 9 because we've been dealing with it this whole time. We've been dealing with that 9. And so then I almost tried to do it in my head, which I know I can, but again, I'd rather just be confident. Ah, interesting. So this adds up to, let me see. Like, why am I like doubting this? I'm doing it again. Nope, that's right. 23. So the reason I kept looking again and again is yeah, it's because well, the fifth is I thought it was 11-3. Oh yeah, it is 11-3. Is it? Yeah. I checked with and without my glasses. So 23 is the vibration of the phrase I am. So on November 3rd, we would expect to see a lot of, because this is general, this is like for everybody. We would expect to see a lot of this vibration around like the display of true identity, but also the testing of identity. So it's like, who are you? Where does your grandma stay? That's what the vibration of this day is giving. And then this, of course, goes to a 5. So it's then bringing in that 5 energy again, where it's change, but it's change around this sense of identity. So we all have to watch for where we might need to make adjustments and changes to it. It's not just like who we are, like that's a just, but it's not that. It's like how we display who we are. It's like a change needs to happen around the display of who we are. I don't know. But that's what's happening. So on this day, if there's anything that could be testing of your identity, where you're going to be questioned about who you are, why you do the things that you do, or what you're doing, this might not be the best day for it. Or if you can't change that, then you have to be prepared to go very much deep and in detail and being very confident about who you are and what you're doing. Yes. Yes. Very much, Judy. Okay. And this is very much a vibration for everybody. And so what I would just encourage you to do, not just you, Judy, but everybody, is to add your birth month It doesn't feel like it needs to be done here, though, because you need to sit with this 23 first. So maybe tomorrow we can look at it together. But you add your birth month and your birthday, not your whole birthday, just the actual day, and then that'll give you your personal vibration for this day, November 3rd. Interesting. It doesn't feel very like energetically strong. I think that's why that full moon caught my attention on the 5th. So it doesn't feel like it's very big changes. It doesn't feel like it's like a time of major events. Yeah. Mhm. Um, as long, Annie, as long as that's not your life path number, because you see here in the green, it's only the month and the day. We don't include the year when you're looking at your personal vibration for a particular day. So you want to separate it where it's just the month and the day so you don't get confused. All right, so let's look at Josh's 317. Did that answer things for you, Judy? Did you get what you needed? I can come back after I work with Josh's numbers if need be. Mm-hmm. Yes, yes, I do. Mm-hmm. Then yes, Annie, that's correct. Um, okay. So Josh, now Josh, are you when you are experiencing 317? Is it like two separate numbers? So it's 3 and 17, or is it together 317? Because it's I'm getting both, but I want to ask you. Oh no, that 5 is never gonna go away. That 5 is never gonna go away, Judy. So 317, if we're writing it this way and experiencing it this way, then this is really 11 to 2. But this is why it's important to know how you are experiencing it. Because this same number, if it's 3 plus 17, now that's a 20 to a 2. Okay. Oh, okay. Okay. Yep. That makes sense. And now that I wrote it out, Josh, I'm seeing why I'm seeing it both ways. It's because this way, where it's written, where it's 20 going to a 2, this is the vibration of November. So this vibration of November is influencing um, what you're experiencing here. Okay. So let's look at it as the 317. And when it feels like it's two separate numbers, know that it's that's just the influence of November itself coming into play. Where usually when that happens, it's just trying to give you a little bit of timing. So when it's together, um, this is behaving in the way where you want to take action and flow. It wants you to take action and flow. But because this 7 is first, you have to take your time and make sure that you're in vibrational flow going in the direction you want to go. And in actuality, this is more feeling like this 17 wants to work together. And in tarot, this is the vibration of the star. So it's like you're taking action and flow, but you need some kind of North Star to make sure you have the direction right. So take your time and make sure you're going in the right direction, that you're following the correct direction. You're following the star so that you can get in this vibrational flow. And when you'll know you're in vibrational flow, because then this 1 energy will come in and add to that energy. And so then that action will produce more energy that can go towards growth. And you're growing to a point where you're able to decipher, you're able to see the difference between this duality between extremes. So you may see like it feels like you're gonna see extremes, or you have seen extremes that you didn't know were there. But by taking this action in vibrational flow, it'll give you that energy that you need to be able to grow, because that essentially it's like you're growing, so then you're able to see this duality between the extremes much clearer. And by seeing it much clearer, then that now allows you to be able to take out anything that is not serving you and take what's left and mold it together to make it into something new that does work for you completely. Woo! Josh be coming with some deep messages. But it gets even deeper because there is this phrase that came out that, so I wrote this phrase on, so it seems like this date might be significant for you, Josh. It's 10, it was recently, 10/20/25 is when I wrote this. So it is the vibrational legacy threads, which is really kind of creepy because we were just talking about legacy. But Josh likes to do that with his energy. Yes. Okay, Josh. Okay, I'm glad this is aligning. But this phrase, there's something about this phrase. It's almost like you need to be studying this. So write this down. This is the 317. So you need to Okay, I'm being told not to like break this down for you, but you use this to be able to um like define what this means in relation to, I'm getting into relation what has already occurred and where you're trying to go. And if you need to check in, you certainly can do that with me. And we can talk about this more next week. But this, so I actually get this kind of thing all the time, where I will just get a phrase or even just a number vibration that I need to like study. I need to meditate on. This actually is part of integration of energy, and I actually need to make us a video where November is very much about integrating the energy that we've already received throughout this year, but in particular last month, like yesterday, in October, because that was when we saw a lot of new energy that came to the space. Whereas from January into September, we were building up the energy, and then September was about cleaning up the energy so it could be shifted. And then new energy was added October. Then November, it's really about integration. So, Josh, you can use this and like journal about it. You could also use the 369 journaling if you're seeing this time. Because I think you said that you're seeing this time. You're seeing the time, like while you're watching football. Pay attention to when you're seeing it. Like what, like not just watching football, but what's happening. What are you experiencing in that moment? And relate it to this term, because there's something there. It's a bigger, deeper message that's there, but it feels like it's about integration. Like you've been taking the action, you've been making the changes, but you can't move on to the next step until you've integrated what you already have. And like we were talking about, where that what legacy really is taking in and having your experiences be so ingrained in who you are that you're able to share it. So it's something about integrating is in. Like you've done this level of work, and so now it needs to be integrated in before you can move on. Good question. I think I think it may be both. I think because you are you're catching these vibrations like during the game, that actually could be giving you some messages about what's what's happening within the game. Look and see, because it's when you start documenting it, then that's when you start seeing the patterns of when and where you're seeing these numbers and getting these messages, and it's in that pattern that it actually gives you more information. Okay, you're welcome. You're very welcome. Okay, so I am going to go get something to eat and, I don't know, do something. Probably watch more YouTube videos. I'm gonna try not. Oh no, I'm not even gonna say that because it hasn't been like disrupting me. Like I've still been doing what I need to do, so it's all good. So have a wonderful day, evening. Um, for those of us in the United States, make sure that you change your clocks tomorrow. Hopefully, they're all just like your phone and they just happen automatically. Um, Probably won't change if I'm here at a different time, but it could change how our days go. It usually does. So, have a wonderful evening. Have a wonderful night. And I will see you all very soon. Thank you so much for being here. Good, 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 good. Have a good one, everyone. See you soon. Bye.